Okay, so I'm trying to debug my wiring. What have I got going on is I got Mach 3 loaded up. I've used the same setup essentially with the exception to the wiring on the motors in order to get all three motors working. Let's see. So what I've got going on here is I used RJ45 cable, cut a little section which then goes to a wall plug. So you got your XY, your Z, and so I've had it previously wired directly from this line to the motors, each motor individually, before I had them set up to the machine here. Okay, so I suspect it definitely is a wiring issue because I have I haven't disconnected anything except retightened every single one of these leads here, and then watch what happens when I give it power. The computer's not on. And let's do that again, and I'm going to walk up to it. Obviously it's not a good sound, but I'm not going to be able to figure out what it is otherwise. Okay, so I solved one thing. I've got the y-axis, or actually z-axis. What's defined as this. In a minute, what's going on here? Yeah, the y-axis. I got the y-axis working. Redoing that, and the high-pitched noise, it turned off as soon as I took a step, so it was stuck in between steps. And then I've retightened these set screws. So here's what happens when I step. Now, right, you'll see. Doesn't have enough torque to move it. This whole assembly is kind of big, so maybe about 50 pounds or so of weight. So as I manipulate the keyboard here, I'm finding that spot where it doesn't whine like it does. Part of the problem could be that I'm running at 24 volts off the power supply DC to the board. And it's also in unipolar, which also cuts back on the power. I'm wondering what I should do about that. If I'm kind of convinced maybe I should go to a Gecko control board in order to increase the output capabilities of the power supply, because right now it's running at 24 volts, and I can also run it at 48 volts, which was, you see some of the other leads, so I can put it in that configuration. I'll have to reevaluate the rectifier and the cap to make sure it's still good for that. But I think it's underpowered, so I still need to work out the wiring for the Z-axis. Okay guys, bad news, it's not doing what I want. Good news is I got it detached from the coupler. Right now it's kind of just resting in there freely. I'm not entirely convinced if it was interference or not, but that doesn't really matter. It's disconnected now. Here's what happens. That doesn't sound good. Yeah, sounds dead. Gosh. Well, I'll have to figure it out, and if you guys have any ideas, I think it's time to upgrade to better wiring.